All right, so good afternoon. Rudy Jambar here. I am the Interim Associate Dean of the Criminal Justice Program here at Broward College, and we are here with another colloquium. One of the things, again, is just customary for me to kind of explain what the colloquium is and what the intent was. In the spring of this year, we began a colloquium that has featured various people from the fields of criminal justice and now beyond. We've had a cadre of individuals who are definitely have been prominent in our community, in particular in the field of criminal justice. Today, however, we're going to veer a bit outside of that, and we're going to talk about our ROTC program. When it comes to Broward College, the ROTC program falls under our jurisdiction in the criminal justice area. And so therefore, we have been working diligently over the last few months or so to really try to build a relationship with the hopes that we will be able to increase enrollment from our students when it comes to the ROTC program. The ROTC program is something that is offered physically. The military Army ROTC program is physically offered at Nova University. However, they have students from outside of Nova as well, including Broward College. And so today's colloquium is serving as an informational so that students who have an interest in joining the ROTC program can learn more about it. Also, those who are participants already in the ROTC program, and in particular, those who might be advising and beyond, who have dealt with students who have expressed an interest in the ROTC program. This gives it a wonderful opportunity for them to be informed about what the ROTC program, the Army ROTC program specifically, has to offer. And so we are joined by Major Martin Johnson. We're also joined by Mr. John McCammon, as well as Sergeant Jamie Howard, who are going to share with us more information regarding the ROTC program so that our students are well informed and they can be engaged in this and indeed become an ROTC officer if they so choose and so desire. So I give it over to you all. I think I'll start with Mr. McCammon to kind of give some information and we'll go from there. Thank you for joining us today.
Hey, good afternoon. Once again, my name is John McCammon. I am the Enrollment and Scholarship Officer for Southern Strike Army ROTC Battalion. That program consists of 9 universities and Broward College being one of them. ROTC is a leadership elective for your freshmen and sophomores. It's offered to all students on campus. Once again, as a leadership elective, your only obligation as a freshman and sophomore taking our program is attendance in class, lab, and physical training. Our freshman class meets once a week with lab on Thursdays at 11 a.m. And our sophomore class meets twice a week and with their lab at 11 a.m. We ask if you're interested in taking ROTC classes at Broward College, do register through the Davie campus. Reason for it's a little bit more collectively, regardless of what campus you're currently attending Broward College at. During your time in the basic course, which is our freshman and sophomore level classes, we're hoping that more importantly, you're assessing us in the program to come to the conclusion that you can answer the question that you want to become an Army officer at some point in time and stay with the program and progress through. Also, during that freshman sophomore timeline, you're competing not only to get contracted, but you're competing against your peers within the program as far as competing for a scholarship that can pay 100% college tuition fees per semester or $5,000 per semester for room and board, but not both. Once you've contracted with ROTC, you have agreed to start your path of progression to be an Army officer, whether it be in the active component, the Army National Guard, or the Army Reserves. Once you enter your junior level classes, currently right now, those classes you'll have to enroll at either FAU or FIU as a non-degree seeking student, where you'll take the ROTC classes there. Now, what I mean by enroll there, you can enroll through FAU or FIU as non-degree seeking, but you can take the class, the lab, and the physical training. They're at Nova Southeastern on the Davie campus, co-located with Broward College. So we can make it convenient for you students that are attending Broward in your junior and your senior year. It's a lifestyle change. It really is. Not everyone likes to get up at 4:30 in the morning 3 times a week and go exercise at 5:45 formation. And we typically have the students back on campus by 0700 to prepare themselves for their first academic classes of the day. But it is a lifestyle change, but more importantly, it's you have a sense of belonging to something, you know, greater than yourself, and learn to become a member of a team, and hopefully one day be that team leader. At this time, I'll turn it over to Major Johnson. If I've missed anything, especially the curriculum, the dates, times, I don't have that on my notes here, but more importantly, hey, thank you for your time. My contact information is on this flyer, and it'll be, I'll make sure Rudy has a copy of it. That way, if there's any interest, if you do, go ahead and put in the chat your email address, and I'll make sure that your name and your email address, and I'll make sure that you get a copy. Sir?
All right, good afternoon, everyone. Again, I am Major Martin Johnson. I am the Assistant Professor of Military Science and the officer in charge of the Army ROTC program at Nova Southeastern and Broward Colleges. As has already been mentioned, we do have a very diverse group of cadets who participate in our program, notably some from Broward College, some from Broward University, as well as the large proportion of that group being from Nova Southeastern University. All right, but that was not always the case. And just so you fully understand the role that Broward College plays within the Nova Southeastern University program, is our program has only been around for about 2 years. And as Mr. McCammon already highlighted, that we are responsible for the 9 university and colleges here within the Palm Beach, Broward, and Miami-Dade counties. So once we started the program at Nova Southeastern University back in the fall of 2019, the majority of the cadets we had in that program at that time were from Broward College, many of which has either transitioned on to FIU or FAU, some remaining at Broward College, and all of them remain being top performers within our program. But we have had some attrition. And I want to really speak to what the program can provide you that, one, helps you meet your overall goal of receiving a college education, as well as eventually matriculating and receiving a commission into the Army as a second lieutenant. Or even if you elected not to do the Army full-time as an active duty, you do have the potential to remain in your local community serving in either the reserve component or the National Guard component, all of which are very good opportunities to demonstrate your leadership either within the civilian sector or within the Army itself. So just to highlight some of the preliminary requirements that we'll be looking for, one, ensuring that you are a full-time student taking at least 12 credit hours, not to include the Army ROTC course. So throughout your freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior years, you just have to make sure that you remain being a full-time student. All right, in addition to that, if you did want to compete for one of those possible scholarships as they become available, you have to maintain at least that 2.5 GPA. Just to contract as a non-scholarship cadet and to be considered, you have to maintain at least a 2.0 GPA. Obviously, our preference is that you being a high performer within the ROTC program translates to you being a high performer in your academic pursuits, which means that that GPA is a little bit higher. Why? It really doesn't tie into the Army specifically, but as far as you being able to serve in a particular branch that you want, the higher your GPA, your better your physical performance and things along those lines gives you more opportunities. All right, so as opportunities present themselves, those opportunities are generally provided to those who are very, very much high performers in the academic realm, high performers in physical fitness, and very active participants within the program. Program provides you a lot of opportunities. So it's not just tied to being on the college campus. We do a lot of things out in the local community as well. We have the opportunity to participate in many of the sporting events within this area, i.e. Miami Dolphins football games, Florida Panthers hockey games, Miami Heat basketball games, as well as all of the college sports that we have that our schools participate in. And those are University of Miami, Florida International University, Florida Atlantic University, Palm Beach Atlantic, Nova Southeastern, Barry University, Florida Memorial University, Miami-Dade College, and Broward College. So you have the opportunity to train with cadets from private universities, historically Black colleges and universities, your local county schools, all throughout the southeast portion of Florida, as well as the ability to travel to other parts of the state and actually train and learn from other cadets who are going through many of the other programs that we have throughout the state. So it's an awesome opportunity. All right, I don't want you to think that it just remains strictly here in the Broward County footprint, but you have opportunities to participate in a lot of Army training that takes place throughout the country, as well as sometimes overseas in terms of our CULT program, which is Cultural Understanding and Language Proficiency programs that's traditionally done over the summer, where you get to work with cadets from academies throughout the world, some being in Sri Lanka, some being in Guyana, some being in Poland, some being in Estonia, and a variety of other places. So I don't want you to think that it is strictly waking up at 4:30, doing PT for an hour, hour and a half, simply going to class, sleeping out in the field and such. No commitment, but you have a lot of opportunities that's provided to you. So if you are interested, you have the contact information for Mr. McCammon. Broward College has my contact information, and you can simply reach out to me, providing an email, register for the course, and you'll see the amount of opportunities that will be open to you. With that, I'll transition back to Mr. John Barr, and if you have any other comments.
Absolutely. Just if you could, in particular for those who may not be, on the Zoom call as of now, but may see this recording later, can you all state your email addresses so that people may be aware of them, please?
Absolutely. My email address is mjohnso2@nova.edu. Again, if you attempt to register for the course at Broward, my email is available when you attempt to register. If you have any questions at any time, don't hesitate to send me an email, and I'll do my best to answer the questions you have. If I am not able to, Mr. McCammon is the subject matter expert, so he already knows to expect an email and a phone call from me regarding any questions or requests for information that I may not have at the present time.
My email address for John McCammon is jmccammo@fiu.edu. jmccammo@fiu.edu.
Hi, everybody. My name is Sergeant First Class Jamie Howard. I am the NCOIC here as a military science instructor at Nova Southeastern University, as well as Broward College. If you can't reach Mr. McCammon or Major Johnson, my email is jhoward2@nova.edu.
So let me, thank you so much for that, gentlemen. So let me ask, what are some of the testimonials that you all have received from cadets, right? I'm sure people had, some preconceived notions before joining the ROTC program, but I'm sure many of them walked away feeling that they have been, transformed in a very positive and empowering way. Can you speak to that, please, as well? Some of the testimonials and some of the wonderful stories that you all have been able to see during your time in your posts.
Absolutely. I've been within the program since December of 2015. So I've had the personal privilege to have either trained and seen commissioned approximately 200 current lieutenants, second, first, or captains that are now in the Army. And I still maintain a very good connection with many of them as far as a mentee-mentor role. So with that being said, several of them looked for ROTC to help be that beacon that can help steer them in a proper direction. Some already knew that they came in wanting to do it because they either came from a legacy, meaning they've had a parent or a grandparent or such, but a family member who may have served and really kind of, created that spark that they felt that it was something else that they wanted to do. Very similar to my Army story. I mean, I graduated from college before I joined, but I was home back in New York, got a letter in the mail saying that the Army would pay me, pay my student loans if I gave them 4 years of enlisted time. 4 years then turned into 25 years. And it was one of those things where once I came into the Army, I actually felt beyond the camaraderie that we had and the skills that it provided me a good opportunity to take care of my family, for me to develop some leadership and personal skills that would definitely transfer to my transition as I, get ready to leave the Army. So it's very difficult for me to identify a negative, because guess what? I mean, folks they can speak to deployments where they're away from families. At least I was in another country rather than working so hard, back here in the States, where you still don't have time to see your family and things of that nature. So with any job, you're going to have time where you're away, but there's not a lot of jobs that pay you a very competitive salary, that gives you full medical and dental, that allows you the opportunity to increase your education by them paying you tuition assistance while you're on active duty, that gives you 30 days paid vacation a year, that pays for you to, when you move, that gives you a stipend to eat, that pays for your uniforms and everything else like that. So it's very hard for me to develop a list where the negatives outweigh the positives. But as far as with my cadets, they are now experiencing that same thing, many of which who are currently green to gold, which are those who are still serving on active duty while they are pursuing either their bachelor's or their master's degree. And then they will transition from the enlisted ranks to joining the Army back as an officer. I have several cadets who are currently serving in local National Guard and Reserve units in the area who are looking for that next evolution in terms of their service to the country. And all of that is very important. So when you are potentially looking at joining the ROTC program, it's less about identifying where you are, but really developing where it is that you want to be. And this is a good pathway that will allow you to achieve those things. Mr. Cameron, how do you have anything to add?
Hey, sir, like you, commissioned probably close to 200 lieutenants over my time here in the program since 2010. It is. I get a lot of feedback. I mean, I've got they're captains and majors now. I had one visit me from the East Coast and just come back and that or vacation with his friends and definitely want to stop by the office, say hi. Got captains that are currently serving and a major currently serving in Alaska, and they reflect back on their time being in the program. How was, and I mentioned it earlier, it's a lifestyle change, and it all depends how anything else you deal with change in your life is, this is a positive footprint to step forward, to gain what it is you're looking to do as more importantly, just not academically, but goal oriented, where it is you see yourself 6 years or 7 years from now. And some of these folks are looking, it's like the major here is looking back 25 years ago when he first enlisted. And it wasn't because he wanted to get his student loans paid back. He had a sense of calling after, once you stepped into that fold, it's like, wow, this is big. And it's very, very rewarding, as he mentioned, as well as just not just the benefits, but also get as well. But when you self-reflect on your career, you're like, wow, I did all this, and it's an accomplishment. Sir, we had a question in there from Edward Berry, and I'm Edward, I sent this to you in the answer your question in the chat, but yes, prior service soldiers can enroll in our class. As I mentioned, most definitely, it all depends on where you're aligned academically. All right, so if you want to reach out to myself or Major Johnson or Sergeant Howard, definitely do such so we can look and see where you are academically with the university or the college, and so we place you in the correct ROTC class. That way, the timeline. Sergeant Howard, you got anything to add for testimonials?
No, I think you two gentlemen said all the same positive things that I would say. So no, I don't.
Sergeant Howard's our new cadre at Broward Nova, so he gets his first, hopefully gets his first salute coming up this spring when this commissioning class of 2022 takes place in May.
No, that sounds great. And I want to give a shout out to my fellow Associate Dean, Edward Berry, who oversees the professional and executive development side of the Institute of Public Safety. So thank you for joining us and thank you for that question, because that was one that I had, right? I just want to clarify it for folks that if you have been enlisted, that does not mean you cannot join the ROTC program. You can join the ROTC program. And that's very important. We have a Veterans Affairs group here at the college. And so I think that's information that is going to be a benefit for some of them as well. I just wanted to again reiterate that we have ROTC here at Broward College. One of the things that I remember in speaking with Major Johnson before that he often references is how this often also relates to student success, right? There's a certain discipline that is going to come should you decide to participate in the ROTC program that can transition in other aspects and other avenues in your life as well. And so glad to hear the benefit that this has given you all, and also the benefit in which you have seen in our students from being participants in this program. And of course, thank you for your service now and also when you first, when all three of you first enlisted. I really appreciate that and grateful for all that you have done for our country and what you do for our students. So thank you so much for joining us. Look forward to more information and more connection between Broward College and the ROTC program. As always, grateful to have this platform, this colloquium, so you can learn more about our program, but also learn more about the others who are impacting our community in such a very positive and impactful way. So thank you all so much. You are tremendous, and we are appreciative of your time.